Hi madam, I'm Darshan from DBT1A. Today I'll be conducting the virtual experiment to define the chemical properties of elements. So now I'm going to test the first element. This element has low density. This element produces violet flame. This element has low melting point. This element has a low boiling point below 1000 degrees Celsius. So the first element is cesium.
Congratulations, you have correctly identified the mystery element.
So now I'm going to test the second element. This element has low density. This element produces a red flame. This element has a high melting point over 700 degrees Celsius. This element has a medium boiling point 1000 to 1500 degrees Celsius. So the second element is calcium.
Congratulations, you have correctly identified the mystery element.
So now I am going to test the third element. This element has medium density. This element produces green flame. This element has a medium melting point 200 to 700 degrees Celsius. And this element has a low boiling point below 1000 degrees Celsius. So the third element is tellurium.
Congratulations, you have correctly identified the mystery element.
And now the fourth element. This element has high density. This element produces green flame. This element has a medium melting point to 200 to 700 degrees Celsius. This element has low boiling point below 1000 degrees Celsius. So the fourth element is zinc.
Congratulations, you have correctly identified the mystery element.
Now I'm going to test the fifth element. This element has a medium density. This element produces yellow green flame. This element has a high melting point over 700 degrees Celsius. This element has a high boiling point over 1500 degrees Celsius. So the fifth element is the fifth element is barium.
Congratulations, you have correctly identified the mystery element.
Now I'm going to test the sixth element. This element has medium density. This element produces a green flame. This element has a medium melting point. This element has a high boiling point. So the sixth element is antimony.
Congratulations, you have correctly identified the mystery element.
Now I'm going to test the seventh element. This element has low density. This element produces a yellow flame. This element has a low melting point below 2200 degrees Celsius. This element has a low boiling point below 1000 degrees Celsius. So this element is sodium.
Congratulations, you have correctly identified the mystery element.
Now I'm going to test the final element, the eighth element. This element has a low density. This element produces violet flame. This element has a low melting point below 200 degrees Celsius. This element has a low boiling point below 1000 degrees Celsius. So this element is cesium.
Congratulations, you have correctly identified the mystery element.
Hi madam, I am Darshan from DBT1A. Today I will be conducting the virtual experiment to define the reactivity of metals. So firstly, I am going to use the acid in test tube A. There is formation of bubbles. Now in test tube B. There is no reaction. In test tube C. There is formation of bubbles. The metal completely dissolved in the liquid and it also reacts vigorously. Now I am going to use the cold water in test tube A. There is no reaction. Now in test tube B. There is also no reaction. Now in test tube C. There is formation of bubbles. Now I am going to use the hot water in test tube A. There is formation of bubbles. In test tube B. There is no reaction. And finally, using test tube C. There is formation of bubbles. The metal completely dissolves in the liquid and it reacts vigorously.
Hi madam, I am Darshan from DBT1A. My matrix number is 23DBT21F 2004. Today I'll be conducting the home experiment, which is burning steel wool and rusting steel wool. Firstly, I'll be doing the burning steel wool experiment. These are the apparatus that I'm going to use for the experiment: steel wool, lighter, gloves, aluminium tat pen, and mask. I'm using the gloves and mask for the safety purpose before starting the experiment. Now I'm going to start the experiment. I'll be putting the steel wool into the tat pen. Now I'm going to wear the mask before starting the experiment. Now I'm going to heat it up by using the lighter. The burning steel wool experiment has been completed. This is the result after the experiment. It is not burned completely. Next experiment is rusting steel wool. These are the apparatus I'll be using for the experiment: steel wool, plastic bowl, plastic cup, water, and gloves. I'm going to start the experiment. I'm going to press the handful of steel wool into a drinking plastic cup. Before that, I'm going to moisture it with water. I already moistured the steel wool. Now I'm going to press the handful of steel wool to a drinking plastic cup. After moisture the steel wool. I'm going to immerse the cup into a bowl of water. Will be left for 4 to 5 days. The observation will be taken after 4 to 5 days. It has been 5 days, and now I'm going to take the observation. I can see the steel wool undergo rusting. It has react with oxygen and hydrogen and undergo rusting process.